What's up guys, welcome to Echo Productions, I'm Silas Willoughby, and you guys have asked for this one a lot. So today we're going to take a look at how to get cinematic footage out of your phone. Anyway, without me saying anything else, let's take a look at a little sequence I put together filmed completely on my phone. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little edit. I shot that entirely on the Samsung Galaxy S9, and yes, that's the camera I'll be using today. But everything we're going to go over today works on literally any phone. The first, and most important by far, is to learn the basics of composition. A lot of you probably already know these, so I'm going to try and squeeze an average 15-minute YouTube video into the next 30 seconds. 1. The rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is basically putting a grid over your image and framing the main aspects of your shot on either the vertical or horizontal lines. The magic spot is at the intersection between the two lines. This is called the golden ratio. 2. Leading lines. Leading lines are lines that lead into the subject of your shot, directing the viewer's attention to what you want them to focus on. 3. Frames within a frame. A frame within a frame is another way to draw your viewer's attention to exactly what you want them to be looking at. It also adds visual depth to your shot. Now that that's out of the way, let's slow down and get into some details. When shooting on a phone, something that might be obvious to most of you, but that I still see way too often, is people shooting in portrait mode. You should never do this. Always film in landscape. This helps you avoid those horrible black bars and generally gives you way more resolution. Anyway, let's move into settings. First up would be the resolution. On a phone, it's important to keep it as high as possible since lower resolutions aren't using the full capabilities of the already tiny sensors, and they tend to look soft and pixelated. I'm shooting in 4K on my Samsung Galaxy S9. Next, let's choose a frame rate. I like to shoot slow motion since it tends to look a lot more cinematic for the types of videos I would ever film on a phone, which are travel films or B-roll sequences. I'm shooting at 60 FPS on my S9. To control these settings, you're going to need to switch to Pro mode. If your phone doesn't have this option, you can always download an app that allows you to control them. My favorite is Filmic Pro, but it's not free. If you need a free one, Open Camera is a great option as well. If you don't want to shoot slow motion, I would suggest switching from 24 FPS from the 30 FPS it will automatically be. Next, you want to leave your ISO as low as possible, since phones have tiny sensors and can generate a lot of noise at higher ISOs. I'm leaving mine at about 100. For white balance, you just want to match your scene. Generally, 5500 Kelvin is a great starting point. For shutter speed, you can ideally have that at double your frame rate for a realistic motion blur, but I almost always leave mine a little higher since I hate excess motion blur. But on a phone, it's almost impossible to get any semblance of a lower shutter speed anyway, so I'll just leave it alone a lot of the time. Anyway, let's move on to actually shooting. The biggest thing you can do to improve your videos you film on your phone is to move around. Stop shooting these same angles. Way too often you see every shot that was filmed on a phone is just held near your face at eye level, and that's it. But if you move around and you grab different types of shots, different angles, etc., you can really spice up your videos. Treat your phone like you would any other camera and get all of those cinematic angles and movement. Add some movement to your shots by pushing the camera forward, pulling it back, sliding it to the sides, etc. And yeah, you might get some choppy movement this way, and not every shot will work out, but I'll get into how to fix any annoying jitter in a second. Anyway, let's move on to how to edit your smartphone footage to make it look as cinematic as possible. So I'm going to be using Adobe Premiere today, but everything I'm covering today can be done in DaVinci Resolve as well, and Resolve is free, so I've already imported my footage, and the first thing to do is to modify all of the footage to 24 frames per second or 23.976. So to do this, highlight them all, right-click, modify, interpret footage, assume this frame rate, and then match our settings of 23.976. This slows everything down to a proper 24 frames without getting any jitter. Next, with them all still selected, I'm going to drag them onto my timeline. And from here, I'll edit like any other edit. I'll add music, transitions, sound effects, stabilize my shaky handheld clips, and add a color grade. I'm not going to go super in-depth in how I do any of these right now, since I've already made tutorials on most of them. Anyway, finally, I'm going to add this letterbox. For this particular project, I'm using an overlay since I want my final project to be 16:9 instead of 21:9. I've put a link for a free overlay package in the notes down below. But that's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Anyway, this has been Echo Productions, I'm Silas Willoughby, and I'll see you in the next one.